I was the first one to get off the plane. When I met Aristide in South Africa 3 times. The first time I met him, I was with Harry Belafonte.
Okay.
And Mr.
In South Africa.
Mr. Belafonte and I were there doing something on a cultural project for 11 days. And he said, "Come tomorrow, I'm going to be meeting Aristide."
Okay.
So that's the first time I met him.
Twice ousted in a U.S. back coup. In 1991, ousted for 3 years, then came back as president. Now in 2004, ousted again in a U.S. back coup. The U.S. flew him to the Central African Republic, but then a delegation led by Congressmember Maxine Waters and the Trans-Africa founder Randall Robinson. I covered this delegation. We flew to CAR, the Central African Republic. They got the Aristides and they brought them back to this hemisphere, to Jamaica, but they couldn't come back into Haiti and ended up in exile in South Africa for 7 years.
But his exile, his involuntary departure, was directly connected to the claim that he made in the courts in Paris for restoration, for reparation.
The second time I met him, I was going to South Africa to do something, and some allies around Aristide in Washington said, "Would you carry this message?" And so they arranged for me to meet him, and I met him at a little bed and breakfast in Pretoria, where actually I had stayed once before.
Okay.
And we had tea, and then the third time I met him, there were trade unionists who went to South Africa, and Danny Glover asked me to come with him. And he said, we were meeting with Zuma the next day, and he says, "I want to go home." So he asked if we would. I'm sure the message had been sent before.
Yeah.
We said to Zuma, and Zuma says, "Sure, he can go." Now, it's my understanding from Zuma, and when we had lunch with Zuma, that Obama called him.
Yeah.
He said, "Do not let Aristide leave." It's my understanding that Zuma did not accept the call. And so we went back to the U.S., and then we heard that he is going to come home, and a lot of people in the United States who had been around him were seemingly not available to go down and come back with him. So Danny says, "I'm going." I was really concerned. Danny's my dear, dear friend and so big brother by 6 months.
Okay.
And I said, "Danny, I'm really concerned." He says, "Well, come and go with me." So we got on an economy flight, and we flew not knowing what would happen, and they checked us in a hotel at the airport, and 3 or 4 hours later we got a call saying there's a plane that is going to leave sometimes today. And it was 11 people. I think we were 11. It was Aristide, his wife, his 2 daughters, someone who worked with them at their house, 1 dog, Amy
Goodman.
Amy Goodman from Democracy Now!, one of her assistants, and me and Danny. And we flew, and as we stopped in Senegal, if I recall correctly. We flew.
It looks like the plane of Jean-Bertrand Aristide has landed in Haiti. It's been 7 years since he's been here. He was taken in what he called a modern-day kidnapping in the service of a coup d'etat backed by the United States in 2004. He is now back again in defiance of the United States.
Hi, I'm Amy Goodman. We're here in Port-au-Prince. The president has landed. We are here in the plane. James Early of the Smithsonian and Danny Glover are the first to step outside. Thank you. And here comes Danny. How are you feeling today, Danny?
Amazing.
We'll be standing with the Mildred Aristide and the children. Mildred is crying. After 7 years in exile, the Aristides have returned.
As we were approaching Haiti, I got very anxious because I had no... Aristide was a very difficult man for me to understand. He's, for me, very mystical, very... I could never quite... Easy to talk to, we got along, but...
Now the president returns, not as president of Haiti, but as resident.
And, the crowds, I'd never seen a manifestation like that.
James Early of the Smithsonian is one of the people who accompanied President Aristide home on this delegation. In fact, he had just been with him 3 weeks before in South Africa.
I feel extraordinarily happy for a citizen of Haiti who has been placed in exile, and I feel extraordinarily happy for the citizens of Haiti who have expressed their admiration and pride and confidence in him.
Of course, I was concerned.
Yeah, for
whether
security, right?
Somebody might try to kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, and we went in, and then he spoke, and we all then got in, I think, 4 or 5 SUV vans, kind of.
Yeah.
People were lined up along the road, I mean, thick, and most of them were young people. That's what struck me.
He really is a social individual. This really is not about him alone. It's about what he represents.
Yeah.
They got on top of the cars.
Had you been to Haiti before?
I'd been to Haiti before.
Okay.
They got on top of the cars.
Yeah.
And as we got to his house with the high walls,
Yeah.
people scaled the
On
walls.
the trees.
And then we went back to the airport. We didn't even get a chance to go in the house to say goodbye to him.
And I'm very disappointed that the government of the United States has used such diplomatic currency against this individual. It's just absurd. It has not worked. It discredits us being sincere in the international arena, and it really limits our ability to show our virtues. So I'm happy, and but as a citizen from the United States, I'm a little saddened by the views expressed by our government, which has not contributed, in my view, to an environment of peace and open debate among people. So this is in many ways less about support for former President Aristide as an individual as it is about a citizen's right in his or her country and the rights of his or her fellow citizens to say we love and admire you and we want you amongst us.
President Obama called South African President Zuma last week, urging him not to fly the Aristides back to Haiti. But the South African government said they would not cave to pressure. A South African government representative accompanied the Aristides on their trip from Johannesburg to Port-au-Prince.
Matsidiso.
And your thoughts as you arrived in
I also feel so overwhelmed seeing the welcome, the reception that Mr. Aristide received. I'm so proud of South Africa having hosted him all these years and brought him back healthy.
The family is now stepping out. Mildred Aristide, Christine and Michael, they're 12 and 14, will go with them. I mean, from the airport, tens of thousands of people were running and jumping, holding placards and signs. We got into the Aristide's house through a side window, but though friends are inside, there's so many people who have come out to greet the Aristides. It has been going on for hours. Just after we got in, at the front door, there was a huge clamor. And it was the Aristides coming in, but they could barely get in. They were being pulled through. First the children, then Mildred Aristide, then President Aristide himself.
Did you get inside of the house?
No,
you couldn't, right?
We went to the airport because we had to leave, and so
Okay.
That was the last time I saw him.
Okay.
And the medical school that President Aristide established and took so much pride in, well, it was turned into a U.S. military barracks, and the students were then sent to Cuba to get a medical education. Some of them came here to greet President Aristide today.
My name is Dr. Tubi Kobel.
And did you train at the medical school, President Aristide's medical school?
Yes, we start a medical school at Foundation Aristide University at 2001. After 2004, we go at Cuba to finish medical school, and now we are there in Haiti to help Asian people.
2004. What happened to the medical school after the coup?
In 2004, military take the medical school and put military base in the medical school.
And instructive is that the first speech that his acting successor made, Latatu, Gerald Latatu, was to denounce restoration, as a pipe dream, and he ain't going anywhere near.
Right.
Why must your successor talk about it if it wasn't important in your installation?